Professor Vincent Adzahlie-Mensah is an international relations and security analyst. He's in the studio. So you heard it. Fuel prices likely to go up next week. Very sad. We've enjoyed some reduction in the last month or so, and then suddenly fuel prices are going to go high because of the war. Really, it's the impact, globally and maybe locally on our economy.
See, the Ghanaian situation and that of many African countries is pathetic. It's pathetic that we have oil and we are not able to refine that oil to take care of our needs. Right. If you watch during the COVID-19, what China was doing was to buy oil and store as much as possible. When the Russia-Ukraine war started, what India did was to buy as much oil and store it. Now, in our case, we were living from hand to mouth. Sometimes even you hear that we have only 2 weeks of supply, we have only 1 week, 1 month. It's strange. So the way forward really is to have storage facilities, is to have enough place to keep as much as possible. Like he said, strategic reserves that can help us in times of global crisis. The US has plenty, they don't care about some of these things. But the impact is going to be serious. The point is that once we live in a country where everything is contingent on the price of oil. Sure. So the moment that increases, everything increases. And it's unfortunate that for a government that is trying as much as possible to lessen the burden on Ghanaians and try to project an image of being very sensitive, situations such as this can disrupt you. But we trust that the government will be able to find innovative ways of staying down the price and trying to look for other ways of getting oil from markets that may not lead to an increase in the amount that we have to pay. But globally, it's going to send shocks, and it has started. It has moved, as you said, in some cases, people say it's now at $79, and there are estimates that suggest that it will go to as high as $130. Yeah. And if those things happen, automatically the whole global system is going to be on edge. Some countries, like for example, if Iran should block the Strait of Hormuz, a lot of oil will not move, and that means a lot for the economy of some countries, particularly those in Saudi Arabia, in Oman, and those other countries in the Middle East. So it's going to reverberate across the globe, and the economic outlook is already not looking fine for countries, particularly in Europe. For example, their economies are struggling, and they are struggling to see how they deal with it. Then you have this other situation. Right. Mind you, also a lot of movements are going from Israel to those countries which have economic ramifications for them. And once things are destabilized, conflicts accompany it. Once fuel prices go up, other things go up. It affects production, economic employment, and all that, and with its attendant consequences. So it's an unfortunate thing that we have come to this place. The whole global economy is going to experience it. No country is going to be spared. It's a catastrophe that is awaiting, and we just hope that, as he said, we just hope that one day, say if you are a Christian, believe in miracles. Yeah. That one day there will be a miracle and this thing will stop.
But it doesn't look so.
It doesn't look good. It is difficult for anybody to predict how this is going to end, because Iran is not made up of cowards. Okay, and then they have support. Israel is not made up of cowards, and US must either stamp its authority now or it falls, and that is what US is preventing. And it's going to go on that tangent to prove that it can still stamp its authority. Iran is going to challenge it. Allies are going to support Iran to puncture it as much as possible. Unfortunately for the US, at this point, Donald Trump has his problems with the European group. And so the unflinching support that the US enjoys may not come because of the tariff wars and the failure to do the bidding of the Europeans in the conflict, Ukrainian conflict with Russia, trying to adopt some brinkmanship approach and all that, because he needs Russia to support them or give them free hand to bomb Iran. That politics is also affecting the US. So the whole
coupled with the fact that it appears this is a personal decision against the advice.
It's terrible, but you see, for the internal issues, I don't have problem. America has always had one unitary policy. They will talk and deceive all of us on the street, but you see, there's one country on earth that doesn't have a Ministry of Finance. It's the US. So the military establishment, the intelligence architecture, controls the country and holds it, and that's something brilliant other countries have not been able to work out, and we have to salute US for that. And because of that, the internal politics, fine, they will do it. The problem is when it comes to the external politics. So you see that they have if you see their national security strategies over time, there is a common theme that runs through that America First Donald Trump talks about. Every American president believes in it.
Right.
The way they practicalize it is the differences between them. So it's a messed up situation we are in. If you are a Christian and you want to go to the Bible and be radical, you will say that prophecy is being fulfilled, the end is drawing near. If you are not and you are a security watcher, you are going to say this thing is going to spiral out of control. Who is going to end it? It seems there's nobody to end it because everybody has, all the power players have interest in it. And if you are an ordinary person on the street, it's a bread and butter issue. You have to prepare for what comes next.
Right, so we're wrapping up on the conversation, but I don't think you are one of those who think that Iran cannot close the Strait of Hormuz. They don't have the capacity to do so.
Iran has every capacity to close the Strait of Hormuz. Somebody must come with force to try to unblock it. And that is where the war gets dirtier, because then it's going to go into a naval war. Because I learned today Israel was trying to bomb one Iranian Navy ship.
Right.
And so all they have to do is to mine the place. Once they mine the place, you need a minesweeper to come and sweep. Now, if that comes, they are going to bomb it. And they know that they don't have a big navy to fight the US. What they have done is to have small attack drones and attack boats, and they have thousands of them. So if even one of that is able to get to an aircraft carrier, it will finish it.
Right.
If one of their missiles is able to land on an aircraft carrier of the United States, they will finish it. Just this week that is ending, they blocked a British ship from passing through the strait.
Right.
So, and the British could not do anything because that's a narrow place. There's nothing you can do. So they have every capability to block it. Somebody must come with force to try to unblock it, and that is not going to end well.
Right.
But while they are trying to unblock it, the point is that it's blocked. So if I block it and you are fighting with me to unblock it, at that time no ship can pass there. If the Houthis are able to make the Red Sea unpassable, then you can imagine what the Iranians can do. So they have the capacity. We just pray that this thing doesn't go to the extent that some of us imagine it will go, which will be to unleash the Third World War on all of us with all nuclear consequences that we may have. Even if it's conventional, it's going to be very terrible, as we are seeing already in Iran.
Right, so, Prof, maybe in your final words, you want to tell us how this conflict should be resolved in the shortest possible time.
If I tell you I know a way that it can be resolved, I'll be deceiving you. Because you see, the Security Council is where things should happen. And the power brokers in the Security Council, one of them is the United States of America, is interested. So who is going to stop them? Russia, China are interested. Who is going to stop them? That's the number one problem. The number two problem is that you have adversaries that do not seem to be acting according to international law and norms. So, but there are some countries, particularly Russia, the same Russia and China, if they will, if Russia decides to put pressure on Israel because of the number of Russian citizens there, and decide to also talk to Iran, Iran's idea is that we are retaliating. So if Israel stops, we will stop. But you see, Israel doesn't want to stop because then Iran has the capability to go back.
Sure.
Iran doesn't want to stop, and they have said that they will do it non-stop. In fact, now they said they will not give Israel even 1 minute of breathing space. They will be raining the missile like that. So if I deceive you that I have a way out of it, I will be deceiving you. The point is, everybody may have to hope for a miracle. But if it's diplomacy, if it is some brinkmanship, we don't see it coming.
Iran says the days of diplomacy are over.
They are over because the one talking to them is the United States, and they have joined the war. You see, the betrayal, the sense of betrayal, let's put it that way, that has been demonstrated is the issue. But you see, the United States is also frustrated by the fact that it seems its bluff is being called. Israel is perishing, and they are sitting looking helplessly for that nation to bear the brunt of something they should be working on. So they have to enter. So at this point, that's why I told you that if the US were not involved, we could have easily predicted something that can happen. But now that the US is involved, America listens to no one. They answer to no one. And therefore, it is difficult to bring this to a close. That's why I think Donald Trump himself knows. That's why when the attack was done, he went to quickly appeal to Iran that they shouldn't try to retaliate. But how do you slap me and say I should keep quiet? It's not going to happen.
Right.
So the days of diplomacy are over, but you never lose hope. You keep hoping that a miracle will happen somewhere. For me, the word is miracle.
All right, thank you very much. Professor Vincent Adzahlie-Mensah is an international relations and security analyst. Dr. Rivers Inopon is the CEO of the Chamber Oil Marketing Companies. Together, we've been discussing the impact of the Israel-Iran war on Ghana. My name is Maurice Ogbete. This is our wrap-up talking points tonight. See you again next week, God willing. Bye.